roll.
Super ready, excited for the day. It's going to be an amazing day. Back to this.
We
need more film. Gather too. Best show ever in front of in internet land. My name is Erinn.
My name is Dan.
And together we are Erinn and Dan.
And this is
Erinn and Dan, but it's live.
It's Erinn and Dan, but it's live.
It's live at 8:01 on Tuesday night, and this is going to be an amazing day. It is the 23rd of April.
Yes, it is. And how the time flies. It seems just yesterday it was February 23rd, 1989, 10:23 p.m., and I was slithering out of the birth canal like a
what, Dan?
Like a goopy mammal.
I don't think you should talk about your mother's birth canal.
I wasn't specifying anybody.
Whose birth canal would you be coming out of?
It was kind of a spoiler when you said it was my mom. Your mom. Hi, everybody. We're live.
It's so good to see you. Hey.
So there's no taking any of this back.
Yeah, and your mom's here, so.
Yeah, she is. And you are too. And thank you for joining us each and every week here on Erinn and Dan, but it's live. We have some new people joining us. Hello, Christina. Thanks for being here.
Nice to
and we
see
have
you.
some old friends coming in. And if you are new to the stream, welcome.
Yes.
You can always talk to us on the comment section, and we'll bring you up on the screen and talk to you as if you're in our living room, but it's better because you're not.
Yes. She says the worst thing is getting a phone call when you're ready for the show. Oh, well, tell them to tune in and you guys can watch together.
That is why I keep my phone on silent and I never, ever answer it.
That is kind of true.
It is true.
I don't answer the phone unless I am expecting a phone call.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like if I have scheduled the meeting, I don't answer the phone. Otherwise, I usually keep it on silent and then I set up a meeting.
I will tell you the truth is that I am a disgustingly curious person. It's like a huge Achilles heel of mine. And whenever I get a phone call from a number I don't have, less so now because there's so many telemarketers now.
So many.
But it used to be like I get a phone call from a number I didn't have and I was like, what if it's Broadway? And
it's never Broadway.
No, it hasn't yet been Broadway.
But Broadway could be calling, hey, Fred and Debbie, nice to see you guys. I'm so happy all of our friends are here. Do you know what today is?
What is today?
Today is National Take a Chance Day.
No way.
That means that this is the day that you need to go out there and do the things that you were too afraid to do.
Or in your production of Mamma Mia, maybe skip the mega mix and just hit that one certain song.
Take a chance, 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 take a chance. We used to sing that on the cruise ship.
Yes, we did.
We did. I love singing ABBA.
In fact, I dare say I've sang that song at every cruise ship I've ever worked on.
I haven't.
If I never hear ABBA again, as long as I live, it'll be too soon.
I love ABBA, and I know there's a lot of ABBA fans out there today.
Oh, yeah.
ABBA dabba.
And nothing against the Swedish.
And also, speaking of jukebox musicals, I think it's one of the strongest jukebox musicals.
You know, we were talking about this, and I don't know what your feelings are. This is the theater episode, so let's dive in.
Exactly.
Our guest today is one of the foremost knowledge bases on theater that I've ever met.
He's actually maybe the smartest person I know. Sans Dan, whom I married.
Oh, I promise you he's smarter than me. But more on that later.
Before we talk about this, though, I think it's time to tell us what you are drinking out there.
I've hurt my mom's feelings by disrespecting ABBA on the screen.
That's so true. You guys, it is time for our toast. Our toast is very important to us, and we always put a little music with it. Today, what are you toasting with, Dan?
I am toasting with vanilla almond milk. What are you toasting with, Erinn?
I am toasting with chocolate almond milk.
Oh, what a pair we are. Mm-hmm. See, we got like a black and white motif going on.
Yeah, it's working
a little
out.
Neutral gray in the background, a little pop of green from the plants.
Heck yeah.
We brought our friend who kind of linked in. We met this person doing a show at the theater that is run by our guest today.
Yes.
And we thought it only appropriate to link those two together. There's a little segment we like to call.
Time now for a toast.
Ooh, that one's gonna need a little help.
Toast and jam.
And this person also jammed at our wedding.
Yes, he did. Give it up for our good friend Jared. Come on in.
Here's to my friends from the fields of ambrosia. Miss you very much. We should do it again. Maybe in the fall. I miss you guys very dearly. It's so good to have Steve on your show, and I really hope I get to see all of you guys very soon. Love you so much. Here's my toast.
Love you, Jared. Love all of you, and cheers.
Clink!
Let's take a sip of this sweet, sweet almond milk.
There is nothing better than chocolate almond milk when you're on a diet.
Really? Because it's not that good for you, nor is it low in calories.
But what I
Nor
do,
is it good for the environment, because apparently almond milk is the least eco-friendly milk in existence.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I just bought 2 gallons of it.
The most amount of water per yield comes from almond milk.
I feel so guilty.
You should.
Oh,
And
man.
here we are, soaking in the remainder of the Earth's sweet essence.
Oh, well. But I'll tell you, I'm on a mission to lose an excessive amount of weight. And this was my first week. And I'm not going to share details because this is not the weight loss episode.
It could be.
But I'm feeling good.
She's feeling good.
Mhm.
I'm feeling good. I've been trying to get bigger for the last 10 years. I've been working out. And I just saw a picture of me from 10 years ago. I've been feeling down on myself. And I'm like, wow, look how scrawny and awful I look.
But look at these muscles.
Then I saw a picture of me 10 years ago. And I was like, I look slightly more scrawny and a bit more awful. So
No, you had a glow up.
that's progress.
You guys, it is so good to see all of you out there. Cheers to Jeff, our friend in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us today. And wow, we're so pumped. You guys, guess what we did this weekend?
What do we do?
Dan Beckman had a book signing event at Book
Yeah.
Ferret here in Winston-Salem.
I did.
It was so fun. We had so many people come out. Some of you are here tonight, so thank you so much for all of your support. It was such an incredible day. I was so proud of my author, my published author.
It was surreal. I've never done anything like that in my life. And I got told on the way there, you'll get up in front of people, you'll speak a little. I was like, I thought I was just signing books.
Hey,
and
listen.
you know me, I hate public speaking.
I must say, he's the best public speaker I've ever worked with.
I'm not, but if people ask me questions, I can answer them.
And he's good at that.
Yeah.
We used to do this thing called Cast Chat
Mhm.
on the boat, and it was with our friend Jeff, who's
Who's
here
here.
today. And it was fun, but the question answering is where Dan really enjoyed
That's
it.
where I shine. I like a little input, a little output, a little input, a little output, a little input, a little output.
In
I
and
can't
out.
just output. What would I say? What would I do?
Just
How
like
could I
the
sit
burger
here and
company.
just do nothing but output the entire time? What would I even do? I couldn't think of anything to say.
I know what you
And
would
it's
do.
not always about me.
It is.
You know what I mean? Shh. It's not always about me.
You guys, if you want more of Dan Beckman, you can get it. It is coming at you May 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Oh,
He's doing a one-man show called Every Brilliant Thing. We have been working on this show for a couple of weeks now. He actually performed this show in Nebraska, which is where we got the idea to do it for our community. And it is so good. I have the privilege of co-directing the show, and we have had some really incredible rehearsals. You've got to come.
it's very, very good. I don't mean this production. I mean, the show itself is very unique, and it deals with topics of common tragedy with levity and reverence and kindness and childlike wonder. It's a really, really unique show, and you should definitely come out and see it if you're going to be in the Winston area from the 3rd and 5th of May.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. See, Jeff says more Dan, please. This is
More
good.
Dan, please.
You know, we've been getting requests, and they're coming out here in the chat as well. People want us to do book signings all over the country, so that might be something that we look forward to doing. Maybe
That sounds like an expensive endeavor with not a lot of yield.
it does.
Yeah.
But it could be fun.
If we sell 8 books at every book signing, we could go to book signings all over town, and we'd probably break even on the gas.
Maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that Dan is an award-winning photographer.
Oh, my buddy Colton's here. Hey, Colton.
Hey, nice to see you,
Freshly
Colton.
relocated to San Diego, California.
San Diego.
He's probably out on the beach right now.
Do you have a tan now,
I
Colton?
bet he does.
I bet you do.
Speaking of gloves, my guy's hot.
I agree.
What were you saying?
I was saying that it's time for the Dan Beckman Photography Picture of the Week.
It's always time for something. I wish we could just sit and talk to our friends. It's
Well,
always
we can.
time. No. Let's talk about me.
What is this photo, Dan? It's one of my favorites.
This is one of my very favorite photos ever. This is from Antarctica. I went to Antarctica. This is where I was when I talked to Erinn for the very first time.
He was looking at a penguin's butt, and he
Yeah.
said, "Who is this
I was
girl on
like-
my phone? Maybe it's
like-
Broadway. I'll pick up."
And it wasn't. Oh,
No.
Lord, was it not. But this penguin was there in Antarctica, and so were hundreds of others, but this one was all alone, and I thought that was a nice shot.
Yeah, it's a great
One of my
shot.
favorites of all time.
It's a good job.
If you ever get the chance to go to Antarctica, it's unlike anything you've seen, obviously. You
Yeah.
should check it out.
Jeff says that he's requesting an Erinn Dan pop-up book.
Mm.
What would that even be about?
It would just be, I feel like every Erinn page, I would open up and start to say something pretentious, and then you turn the page and Erinn would override it with a bunch of noise.
And confetti.
Hmm.
If we had a pop-up book with confetti, have you all seen those that are hard to open up and then fly all over your house.
Well, makes me want to like really to open them up, and it's like Japanese style art, and it's like almost like balsa wood.
Those are so cool.
Oh my god, I would love to have one of those cards.
I love those so much.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I have been learning this year. This is time for Erinn's Year of Learning. I have decided that I'm going to learn one new thing a day, 365 days, 365 new bits of knowledge, plus one more for a leap year. And I learned so much this week. Starting on April 16th, Dan, I learned that anteaters can protrude their tongues to more than 2 feet.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, that's how they eat the ants, right?
Yeah, but like, I mean, I could eat ants without a tongue that long.
This guy looks hammered.
He kind of does. I got to be honest, this is the nicest picture I found of an anteater tongue.
No, it is not.
Dude, I challenge all of you tonight to Google pictures of anteater tongues, and you're going to find some really messed up.
Please ask your parents
anteaters
before you go Googling
Yeah.
anteater tongues.
If there's anyone under the age of 18,
On
don't do
family
it.
devices.
Anteaters also actually have a scent that's 40 times stronger than humans, by the way.
You mean a sense of smell?
A sense of smell.
Their scent itself isn't 40 times. Although, because I met some stinky humans.
Right?
Next.
On the 17th, I learned that on April 17th, 1907, it was the busiest day at Ellis Island ever. Between 1892 and 1954, millions of immigrants obviously were processed at Ellis Island. But on this day, a total of 11,747 people were processed.
Why?
Because it was a huge immigration day.
But why?
Bunch of boats arrived.
Just no reason?
There wasn't a specific reason.
I'm sure there was. Those people didn't just decide, hey, let's go to America today.
I mean, there was a lot of people doing that.
What
It's
was
just
it?
that one.
Was it a war?
I mean,
Was it oppression? Was it communism?
probably all of the above.
Next.
This is crazy. On April 18th, I learned that Japan released sushi-inspired Kit Kats. It was originally put out there as an April Fool's joke, but then Nestle got wind of the joke, thought it was clever, and got creative with these 3 flavors: tuna, egg, and uni.
Wait, they did the flavors too?
Yes, they did.
Tuna and egg? What's
Yeah.
uni?
Uni is UNI. Am I pronouncing it right?
I don't know. Never heard of it.
It's supposed to be delicious.
I think it's British. It's uni. Tastes like higher education.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Next, on April 19th, I learned that honey is the only natural food made without destroying any life.
What do you mean?
I mean that there is no other food that doesn't destroy life. You can challenge me, and I looked it up.
You mean because you're eating the vegetables and you're eating the eggs and the meat and stuff like that?
Yeah. And like even milk, for instance,
Yeah.
The cows eat grass and that feeds them.
Well, the
And-
bees rip pollen from the decrepit limbs of the plants.
No, but it doesn't hurt the plants. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
So my whole point today is eat more honey.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna think on this. I'm gonna stump this. I'm gonna next.
On April 20th, I learned that on average, 100 people choke to death every year on ballpoint pens.
How do you do that?
I looked it up. That's another thing I don't know if you should look up, everybody. But it's true. 100 people die every year. So if you are a pen eater, please be careful.
This is not the way I'd want to go. Just like absentmindly working on TPS reports and then all the way down.
Happens. What happened to Dan
100 times
Beckman?
a
He
year.
choked on his pen. That's not how I want to die. I want to die being kayaking with giant whales in Nova Scotia.
And somebody shoots you.
No, like a giant whale smacks me.
You've said this, and I don't think that that's going to be an instant or pleasant death.
It would be instant.
I think it'll shatter bones in your body, and then you'll drown, unable to swim.
No, I think I would get smacked by a whale, and then somebody would be like, wow, Erinn is so cool. She literally got smacked by a whale.
Has anyone ever been smacked by a whale out there? let me know if there's any whaleologists. If the smacking potential of a whale tail can.
How do you want to die, Dan?
I want to live for the rest of eternity.
Oh,
I don't want to die.
That's pretty sweet.
I would rather never
See,
die.
Bill says stranger deaths have happened. That's true.
That's true. That's true. Is that true?
It reminds you of the nutritionist who died from malnutrition. Okay, and the last fact I learned yesterday on April 21st was, I learned twice. I learned 2 more.
Okay.
April 21st was 2 days ago. Women blink nearly twice as much as men.
Why?
So as you are, I don't know, but they do. As you're watching the stream tonight, you can see if I'm doing this.
You didn't. It didn't say why.
It just said that studies show that women blink twice as much as men.
You know what I like about you?
What?
You're content with the information. You don't need to know why it happens.
I
like that.
All right, here's the last
like
fact I learned,
okay.
and you're going to love this. Okay, this is Mike. He was a chicken who survived for 18 months with no head. 70 years ago, a farmer beheaded all his chickens in Colorado. They used to do that all the time, and it refused to die. Word spread around about this headless bird. The local paper did an article on the chicken, and 2 weeks later, a sideshow promoter offered the chicken a tour with the farmer because they were poor, and then Mike became a famous headless chicken for 18 months around the country before he died.
Okay, here's the question, and I know you're not going to know this.
How did he eat?
No. I mean, you can live for a long time without food.
Yeah, but they also
3 weeks.
poured stuff down his little.
They did?
Yeah.
That is just okay. And I guarantee you, they named him Mike after he became a sideshow act.
They did.
They weren't just like, "Here's my 100,000 chickens. This one's Mike."
He
They were
only
like,
killed
"Oh,
40 a day.
Now you're important to us humans. Now you can have a name." Disgusting behavior. I'm cranky.
What? You seem cranky.
I'm cranky.
Well, that's what I learned this week, even though Dan didn't like it.
I liked it. I liked it.
Oh my gosh. And I encourage you to look up Mike the Headless Chicken. It also saved this poor impoverished dude.
Oh, he was impoverished.
Yeah.
Oh. Was he a chicken salesman?
The farmer was impoverished, not the chicken.
Well, the chickens are rich. I mean,
it's true.
Many animals who live on this great earth of ours are rich and plenty.
It's true.
But not chickens.
No.
What were you going to say? Sorry, I keep interrupting.
You're not interrupting.
I'm
this
interrupting.
is a talk show. We go back and forth.
I'm probably going to step out for a little while. Let Erinn take this one over.
I can just keep talking. Keep those comments, by the way. I love seeing all of you chatting out there in the chit chat. Hello, Carrie. Laughy face, laughy face.
Chatting out there in the chit chat.
So, as I've been learning a new fact every day, but not as much fact as Dan would like. Dan, what have you been learning?
I've been studying one new musical artist each week, deep diving into the discography. And this week I did Kanye West. Any Kanye West fans or haters or connoisseurs or
of the
middle
music,
of the roaders out there?
Of the music.
Or either way.
Yeah, true.
Either way. See, my thing is I like to separate the work of the artist from the person's rather unbecoming behavior. Just because his influence is massive, and I've heard a lot about Kanye through the years and never gave him the time of day to hear his music. And I have to say, especially the first half of his catalog,
yeah,
really cool.
Nice.
Really, really good music. Like, has a really good pop sensibility about his music. A lot of his first couple albums have like a very almost like Motown chamber pop, stringy 70s vibe, and he experimented with style with every concurrent album. I will have to say, his music stopped being super appealing to me after he did Yeezus.
And why is that?
It just stopped being
catchy,
specific, and it seemed like he was kind of running out of things to say. And
okay.
I don't know. It was also not novel to me. That sometimes happens with these, as I listen to these artists all week long, and it just kind of bangs off my head after a while. But the guy's only got 10 albums, so
true.
But it's also a common experience. I think a lot of people think that from his last 2 albums are not super strong.
Okay.
I just think they're not that stylistically intriguing as a lot of the other ones are. Like Yeezus did a bunch of drill and acid house styling, and then afterwards it was just kind of there. So
Heather says, I know he exists.
He does exist. He does exist. And I happened to listen to Taylor Swift, or at least part of Taylor Swift's album in the middle of the Kanye week, which I thought was appropriate since
that's pretty funny.
Back in my day, he interrupted Taylor.
I know, right? I'll also say that I didn't personally have as much experience this week in particular with your artist because I guess we weren't together in the car as much as we usually are.
We've been spending some time apart reading our suggestions of our therapist.
If only that were true. Wait, do you have a therapist? See, I don't even know this. I've been spending so much time apart from Dan.
No, if I weren't so lazy, I would get a therapist. You know what I mean? I really think I would benefit. But instead, I just sit at home and I go, I think this is wrong with me. Let's not fix it.
I feel like I'm your therapist.
You are.
Because I talk all the time.
You do.
And I listen to you.
Exactly.
So that's impressive.
Exactly.
And important.
Exactly. And it saves us money to not get medical help when we need it.
Exactly.
So
what would you rate Kanye West, 1 to 10, and in style?
In style?
Yeah. In the style.
What do you mean?
I would say in his style, What would you rate his style?
Well, I don't know what that means, but I will say.
Well, then rate it however you want.
His impact was huge.
Project.
His impact was huge. His first several albums, I would honestly give him like an 8.5, 8.5 maybe.
Nice.
But this is not news, and there's a lot of people who are more, especially in hip hop, a lot more qualified to speak because I'm kind of getting into it through this project. I've listened to now Tupac and Kendrick, in addition to what I've kind of purveyed in the past. But Kanye, as far as like listenability and like lyricism, kind of hits a sweet spot between Kendrick and Tupac. I really, 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 really like his early stuff. I don't like his raging anti-Semitism
I
and
don't
his
think anybody
absolute
does.
off the walls insanity. But it makes cool music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that about you, separating the artist from the art.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, I guess.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what an interesting thing. And we have people asking, what's next?
I don't
What's
know.
Next?
So Ever Brilliant Thing, the show we're working on right now, has an undercurrent of like jazz and Motown, and I'm thinking I might want to do a Motown artist or something. So if anyone has a big influential Motown artist, that would be good to study this week. I'd love to.
Not to mention, next week is International Jazz Day on Tuesday,
Mm.
and we could celebrate in style here on Erinn Dan Live.
I'm going to play the trumpet.
Will you play the trumpet live next week?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to hear it?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, will you really?
Sure.
I'm so excited. I don't think I've heard him really play the trumpet except for when we did our Christmas show and he did the whinny at the end of Sleigh Ride. He went with his trumpet.
You're in for a treat. Oh, Marvin Gaye's a good choice.
That is a good choice.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the godfather of Motown and soul.
The godfather of Motown and soul. This year for Dan's birthday, I got him a Universal Yums box.
Oh, y'all, this is so cool. Have you ever heard of this? So once a week or once a month, you get a box in the mail, and it's a snack box that contains snacks from a different part of the world. The first one that came through was French, and it was all French snacks.
And we haven't opened this one yet.
Yeah, this is the one we opened.
We opened this one.
This one's open, but we have another one waiting that we haven't opened yet. We can do it next week. But this week that we're working on right now is Ukraine. And they have a big sentiment in there about how they work really hard to get connected with local businesses in Ukraine to help rebuild their economy, given everything that's going on.
And they also have trivia about Ukraine. They even have a little thing where you scan the barcode and it plays Ukrainian music while you eat your snacks.
Yeah, it's a really cool company. It's called Universal Yums. I highly recommend it. If you're a snack person like me.
Oh, he's a snack person.
And you're interested in the world like me. It's worlds collide.
So far, we've
Can't go
eaten
wrong.
the homemade bread chips with agatakajia. I think I pronounced that incorrectly. Ooh,
Yep.
Charlie Daniels.
I
is
think
a
it's
great name.
Akajaka. Yeah, but not Motown.
Yeah. Oh, true. And we've also had the crostata with black currant, which
That
was
so good.
mwah,
It was so good.
so good. I have to save all my calories on my diet for it, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Y'all, do you have a favorite region you've ever been in the world for the food specifically? If you've traveled the world, if you've been outside the country, or even in the United States, what's your favorite place to eat food? Because we're going to be traveling the United States later this year. And we're going to be looking for hot spots.
Yep.
All over, and we're going to like 14 states or 16 states or something like that. Yep. Where should we eat?
Yes.
I'm already thinking about it. I love eating.
When we were on our 50 states tour last year, we had some really good highlights. I would say I loved the Philly cheesesteak sandwiches in Philadelphia.
How could you not?
I love Philly cheesesteaks anyway, but there they genuinely are the best. Mexico, says Bill.
This is dumb. We went to Maine, and there's this place called the Portland Diner in Maine.
Yes.
I love crummy little like greasy spoon diners that serve the same old crap. This place was the best one I've ever been to in my life. Portland Diner.
So good.
It was so good. One of my favorite eating experiences of the entire trip, as dumb as that may be. Scottish haggis.
Have you ever had haggis?
I have not.
I have. It's fine. It's fine. I wish I didn't know what it was, but it's fine.
What is it?
It's dried ox blood.
What?
It's dried ox blood.
The whole thing?
Yeah, it's dried ox blood that they fry, and it's different. Tastes like nutmeg.
That is.
Yeah.
I thought there was meat involved.
No.
It's just blood.
Yeah.
Dried blood that's fried.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
Susan recommends the New England clam chowder, and I have to tell you, that's good too.
Mhm.
And the stone crab soup that's up there is also pretty amazing.
Carrie Schweikart recommends Smokey Robinson, who is
But-
also delicious. Came out with a new album recently, Smokey Robinson, this year, and the album's called gasms.
Oh, yes.
And he's singing about all the different gasms he gets when he looks at you.
And he says it's not sexual.
And then he has the goal to tell everybody who's like, wow, Smokey, that's really... He's like, get your mind out of the gutter. That's not what a gasm is. And we're like, you called the album Gasm!
And I don't know if you've listened to this album, everybody. I haven't listened to the whole album, but the song itself is so bizarre. He's like, we got eargasms, eyegasms.
It's not like that.
It's a little bit like that.
We got eargasms, eyegasms.
That was the Erinn Dan
all
version.
around the world.
Hey!
Gasms. Ah.
I'm a musical theater girl. What do
Yes,
you want?
you are.
Speaking of musical theater, I could not be more excited about tonight's guest.
This is great.
Yes. This young man, his name is Steve Steiner, and this year is his 59th year in the entertainment business.
Wow.
He started at age 13, and since that time, he has been playing professionally in bands. He collected 2 music degrees. He worked in business. He got his master's in acting. He performed 2 national tours, countless regional shows, and finally...
That's a great photo.
Isn't it a great photo?
Yeah.
He performed on Broadway multiple times, by the way. Steve is also on he also served on the Council of Actors Equity Association.
Represent.
Yeah, man. And he's been a Tony voter, and he now runs Surflight Theater with his wife, Gail, in the beautiful Beach Haven, New Jersey. Please put your virtual hands together for the one, the only, Mr. Steve Steiner.
Hello,
Holy
Steve.
cow!
How about that response, huh?
It's unbelievable.
You just hardly can believe it's real.
Unbelievable.
How you doing, man?
Great. Correct. I didn't get a master's in acting. I got 1 year toward a master's in acting, but other than that, everything else you basically said is correct. And I'm happy to say that I've got my honey with me right now. You were just talking about that, and I actually had chicken for dinner, and it didn't have a head on it either.
Oh, wow! You came prepared.
Yeah. There we go.
Steve, how's the weather out there in Beach Haven?
It was about 50 today. Not too bad. A little windy toward the end of the day, but other than that, it was a pretty decent day. Kind of sunny all day, which was great.
You got some brotherly friction here.
Oh yeah.
Your brother's wondering why we didn't bring him on instead.
Well, you can do that anytime you want.
That was a very politically correct answer, Steve. That's what it takes to run a theater company, is being politically correct half the time.
Tim is actually, I just heard this about maybe half an hour ago, is actually right now in Washington, D.C.
No way. Do you know that we have, is he tour guiding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he tell you that we happened to run into him while we were in Washington, D.C. on tour last year? We
were literally performing at the Lincoln Memorial, and Dan finishes singing a set, and we took a break, and Tim comes over and he's like, "Hey, I thought I heard Dan Beckman's voice over the reflecting pool."
I was like, "What are you doing here?"
That's great.
So amazing.
Yeah. Small world.
Yes, indeed.
We have a fan that says, "My favorite Surflight show was Fields of Ambrosia." I know that that's very near and dear to your heart, Steve.
It is, and they're putting the final touches on getting together a workshop actually on the show. I think they're going to be auditioning in June. I don't have specifics on that yet, but I should within a couple of days. And then it's going to be working for 3 weeks from September 30th to like the 18th of October. And it's they're really trying to get that thing have a life once again where it deserves to be. As you know, I feel very strongly about that show being a very good show for Broadway.
Well, it's near and dear to my heart now. I mean, it's probably my favorite show I've ever done from a performance standpoint.
Oh, for sure.
So, Steve, for people who don't know, tell us about what Surflight Theater is.
Surflight Theater is a regional. It's the fifth largest regional theater in New Jersey. There's two really big ones, Paper Mill Playhouse and McCarter Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Two River, the Shakespeare Theater, and then us, we're number 5. Out of about 40 professional theaters that range in size of budgets that are over 10 million down to budgets that are maybe, 200,000 for the whole year. And ours, we land 5th on at scale. We're in a wonderful town. Beach Haven, New Jersey is a beach town, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The theater's been here for 75 years. This is the 75th season for the theater. And we really are very blessed to have wonderful people that love to see high quality professional theater. And it's done on a budget that many people can afford, which is much less expensive than Broadway seats.
Yes.
But close to Broadway. Y'all are only like 2 hours away from the big city.
That's right. We're 2 hours from New York.
So
I
if
get
you're in
to
New
say,
York
I
right
still
now
get
and
to,
you can't afford one of their shows, go see Steve.
Yeah. I still get to go and see shows in New York from time to time. I have seen a couple. And you were talking about Mamma Mia, so I'm just going to put a plug in for a show that I haven't seen, but Gail saw. She says it makes as much sense with the songs and the book of Mamma Mia, how they intertwined those songs so well in that particular show. The show that she's talking about, bless you, the show that she's talking about is The Heart of Rock and Roll.
Oh,
Never heard
Say
of it.
that's great
fantastic. And it got very, very good reviews today, as a matter of fact. Was
cool.
Their opening just happened.
That's
That's
great
cool.
to hear.
And you say that because when we kind of got sidetracked earlier, but I think Mamma Mia is kind of notable because very often with jukebox musicals, there's either a really paper thin plot as an excuse to deliver the music, or it's a biopic of the people who wrote this music.
Yeah.
But Mamma Mia has a very creative, thoughtful plot that manages to use the music to tell a story that isn't what the music was intended for.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
And that's what you're
And
saying.
that's what they did with that's what they did with Heart of Rock and Roll, according to Gail. I haven't seen it yet, but I really do want to see it.
Yeah, cool. We have a question. Is Steve a voice actor?
I have done that in my past lives, but not too much now. I could be, but I did, and I can't even remember what they were. It was 20 years ago, but I did 2 or 3 video games.
What? Which ones?
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember which ones. It was 20 years ago, and I don't play video games.
Dan loves video games, and if he has ever heard your voice on a video game, he's going to nerd out much harder.
Oh, yeah.
I did half a dozen characters on each one of these. Actually, I think you can Google it and find it.
I'm going to do that right now in real time while we're interviewing.
Yeah.
We have a lot of video game fans out there too, so this is pretty epic. if you're joining us from Twitch tonight, and
that was
Steve's
just
voice.
something that happened. There was a guy in sort of South Jersey near not too far from Philadelphia who it might have been Overlord. Yeah.
Overlord, Raising Hell, Fear Extraction Point, and the first Overlord.
That's so funny that Josh, you recognize his voice from Overlord.
He
That's
probably Googled
impressive.
it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Although
But anyway, and he had a studio, and he had me come in, and the writers of the video game were in England, and I was on with them in England in this guy's studio, and this a long time ago, and I did at least 4 or 5 characters. It may have been more.
Cool.
They were all different kinds of voices,
I
and
love.
accents.
Do you remember Hay Off the Game?
Ooh.
I don't know that I do, Tim. Can you help me out here?
Well, he does that, Steve. I wanted to ask you. You said, he said Hero of the Game.
Oh, Hero of the Game.
Hero of the Game. I do remember that title. I don't think it was me, though.
Well, you can claim it.
Steve, I wanted to ask you, which shows on Broadway did you do?
The first was Anything Goes, the 1987 revival, first with Patti LuPone. it was a wonderful experience. I was in the show for a couple of years. The next one was a year later, and it was the Buddy Holly story. Speaking of jukebox musicals that are bio musicals, and I've done that one a lot. And I've actually directed 13 productions of it, and also done a half a dozen national tours of the Buddy Holly story. And the third one was State Fair with John Davidson.
No way.
And that was 1996. And then in 1998 is when the opportunity came up for us to come to Beach Haven. And we were also finding out that we were going to have our daughter Krista. And we thought, what a great opportunity. What a great opportunity to frankly raise Krista not in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, I always saw parents in New York, and I thought, I don't know how the hell people manage to raise kids in that city.
It's amazing.
It looks like a double long full-time job.
But to answer the question, how did I get involved with Surflight Theater? Mm-hmm. I was looking for opportunities outside. I had been directing more and acting a little less, and I was looking for opportunity outside of the city. And frankly, it was an ad in Backstage looking for somebody to become the artistic director at Surflight Theater. Wow. They were changing, and I applied. And Gail and I had talked a little bit about it. And she grew up in Delaware, and she had always thought it would be great to manage a theater, maybe someplace in Pennsylvania, maybe to be a dinner theater, or and this opportunity came up, and this opportunity came up, and sure enough, I said to her, we think we know what we're doing, but why don't we try it out on somebody else's dime?
That's amazing.
And that's how we came, and I was offered the opportunity, and so here we are, and we love it here. And in '98, when I was hired, it was a commercial enterprise. The guy that hired me wanted to leave and wanted to retire. So I created, in conjunction with the Friends of organization here that was a nonprofit, an opportunity for the theater to become nonprofit, and went to the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and we got all the stuff, and that's basically the financing, and we're able to purchase the theater and everything that's there. There's a bunch of stuff there. From the people that owned it, and he was able to retire, and it has continued for quite some time now.
And let me say that we've thoroughly enjoyed our time at Surflight. And if any of you out there are actors or performers and you want to get involved, definitely seek out auditions for Surflight, because it's a great company, great people, super nice place to be to do a show, and just a blast to be.
Feeling the ocean breeze before rehearsal is something that is just such a privilege.
And in fact, if you have my book or you've seen my photos, New Jersey stop of our tour was at Surflight Theater. They hosted us, and the photograph is of Barnegat Lighthouse,
That's
Old Barney, as they call it on Beach Haven.
Yep, absolutely, and it's such a cool place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talked about a lot of gamers online with you here. Somebody very high up in EA, Electronic Arts in England, who basically hires all the voice actors for the shows, was an intern with us at and actually before that an apprentice. She started like in grade school and high school, and all through college was with us. She says that she has learned so much theater knowledge with us when she was young that she now uses working with EA.
How cool is that?
That's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah. Now, somebody asked how Gail and I met, but I didn't read the rest of the question because I was blathering on about something else.
I think that was pretty much
that was it. How you got involved with Straight Life?
No. Somebody wanted to know how Gail and I met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Gail was in Delaware, and I was working with the artistic director of Delaware Theater Company and his assistant, Danny Peak, and we were doing a concert of Fiddler on the Roof with the Delaware Symphony, and that's how we met. Because Gail at the time was actually going out with that fella Danny, the assistant. Sometime late, it was a year and a half later. We ran into each other again. She was no longer seeing Danny, and long story short, we spent some time together, not on a date, but it was an entire rather long day. And 11:30 at night, when we're having a late dinner after a show, it started kind of feeling like, oh, maybe this is a date. You know, so that's kind of how we met.
And the rest is history.
Yes.
Well, we're certainly glad that you guys are at the helm of Surflight and that we've had the opportunity to come up there. It's been some of our favorite time the last few years, so we appreciate that. And we've learned about you so many things.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that first blew me away, the first time we came to Surflight, we had dinner with you, and you had such a plethora of theater knowledge. And I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind putting some of that to the test today.
Well, I'm happy to do that, but I know that you said that a couple of times, and you obviously have never put Ricky Pope's knowledge to the test.
That is okay. That is a good point, Ricky Pope. But he's barely.
And Stephen Cole, who's a Broadway aficionado. And even runs like a Facebook page about Broadway memories and what have you. He's really an encyclopedia of Broadway and theater knowledge. Tim tells me hero of the game is something that I totally forgot we did, where there was like a football game or a baseball game. And it was like in the ninth inning, and then somebody goes out, and somebody else has to come in and pinch hit or come in as as the third string quarterback. And then we personalized these tapes so that person got to be the hero of the game, and their names were and I did the voiceovers on them. Tim did voiceovers on them, and I had totally forgotten what we had done.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have another question. What show have you always wanted to do at Surflight, but you haven't had the opportunity yet?
Children of Eden.
Oh, we
Great
love
show.
Children of Eden.
So do I.
produced
I
it
did a
few years
production
ago.
of it in Illinois, 1997, I think, and just loved it.
Beautiful
Wow.
show.
Well, if you ever do, let us come be involved in some capacity because we love
Sure.
that show.
Yeah, our
Sure.
favorite.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we want to put your theater knowledge to the test with a game
All
that we
right.
like to play on this show called
Trivia Smackdown!
Trivia Smackdown.
I already said it.
Oh, yeah.
So, Steve, we have some great questions for you, and we want to see how well you do.
Now,
Trivia Smackdown.
you got it. Thanks for doing the voiceover for that, by the way. That was really appreciated. This is arranged in order of what I think. There's two categories, 13 questions, and I think that they go from relatively easy to medium difficult, but I feel that you're going to fare quite well.
Well, let's see how long I can delay this so I only get the easy ones.
Yeah. No, I think they're all going to be easy for you. I have a feeling.
Audience
We'll
at
see.
large, cheer him on, and if you know the answers, you can type it in. We won't pop them up on the screen until it's time.
Round one is title of show, and this is going to be, you're going to get some information, and you just have to name the show, which will be the answer to the question. Question number one, the antics of sailors who have 24
On the
hours
town.
of shore.
On the town.
Yes, he couldn't even finish. Couldn't even finish.
Wow, that was impressive.
Now we're gonna get a little bit tougher, not too much tougher. In which movie version of a 1950s Broadway musical could you hear Marlon Brando utilizing his not oft-used singing voice?
That was Guys and Dolls, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it was. You're 2 for 2. How do you feel?
With my hands.
Yeah, very good. Perfect.
That's the way to feel.
Perfect.
Nice job.
All right, a little bit. We're going to turn up the heat just a little bit. Which musical's source material was deemed impossible to adapt until it was successfully done by Lerner and Loewe in 1956?
Lerner and Lowe in 1956, I believe, was My Fair Lady.
That is correct.
You're so impressive, Steve.
Yeah. Did you know that there was, I think, 2 other writing teams that tried to tackle Pygmalion before them and failed?
I didn't know that.
Can't think of who they were. I think one of them was actually Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Ah. Well,
Could
they're hacks.
Yeah. What have they ever done? All right. Question number 4. What 1960 musical is based on the life of times of an American philanthropist as survivor of the 1912 sinking of the Titanic?
The Unsinkable Molly Brown.
That is, of course, correct.
Woo! Dang, you're good.
Wow, we need to slow down and take a word from our sponsors because you're blazing through these questions.
It's so impressive. I love it. Guys, cheer Steve on out there in the crowd because this is so impressive.
Yeah, and bonus points if you can somehow get the answer out before Steve.
You can't.
No, you
I
can't.
can't even finish the question.
No, we're on a delay.
I'm very impressed. All right, next question.
What Broadway musical with an exclamation point as its name is about a man who was mayor of New York from 1934 to 1945?
It's Fiorello and Fiorello LaGuardia.
Yes, that's so true. Politics and poker.
I don't know that show.
No, a lot of people don't.
Little Tin Box. Oh, Tom Bosley was in that when he was a relatively young man, by the way,
Really?
who, of course, was the dad on Happy Days.
Yeah,
Richie
that's why I know
Cunningham's
Tom
dad.
Bosley. I only know him as Happy Days and as the guy with the Institute for Hair.
Yes.
and he was also the original father of Belle in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway.
Wow.
Yes.
No way. The original. I love
Way.
that.
Yeah.
That's another game we could play with you, Steve, is connect the dots, the 6 degrees of
6 degrees to Tom Bosley.
right?
Yes.
All right, next question.
The song Adelaide was added to the film version of Guys and Dolls, but from which movie musical was a different song by the same name cut?
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a hard question.
Mhm.
That is. Boy, you got me there. I think. What movie musical? Different song by the same name. Cut.
Did we
Wow.
send the Steve?
This film had a song in it named Adelaide that was ultimately cut.
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
No? No guesses?
Genie with the light brown hair.
Ooh, good guess.
The first stump, it is Calamity Jane
Oh wow.
with Doris Day.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I just saw a show called Air Swimming in Richmond, Virginia, and the woman is obsessed with Doris Day. And
Really?
she talks about Calamity Jane. So I actually was like, I wonder if it's Calamity Jane. And it was, but that's not because I actually knew it. It's just because of recent knowledge. Oh, this is exciting. I never thought
Steve,
we'd do it.
I didn't think we were going to get you.
Well, let's see what's going to happen now.
All right. Which musical holds the record for most Tony Award wins?
Ooh,
Wow.
that's hard too.
I believe it's 12, and I think it's the producers.
Woo!
Look at that! Steve Steiner!
I am so impressed with you yet
That
again.
is wild. Well done. And for bonus points, you know which one has the most nominations?
I don't.
Oh wow. Most nominations. Maybe a chorus line.
It's much more recent.
Oh, really?
It's the most
yeah.
recent show you could guess and have this be like an oh duh thing, I think.
Is it Hamilton?
Yes, Hamilton.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there we
The
are.
most nominations, but Cabaret, the producers has the most wins. All right, well done, Steve. Only two misses on that first section, and we're moving into the second section, which I actually think
Did I-
is going to be Huh?
I thought it was one miss.
Only
Calamity
one,
Jane?
man.
Calamity Jane and
That's it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You missed the bonus round, which didn't count. Thanks for keeping me on the straight and narrow. This is why we need you around.
Exactly.
All right, round 2 is who's who.
Who is who?
The answer to these questions are going to be a person's name that is involved in some capacity in the industry.
Excellent.
Yeah? Who originated the role of Velma Kelly in Chicago?
Velma Kelly in Chicago was, I believe it was Cheetah Rivera originally.
Let's see it. Cheetah Rivera is correct. Wow.
1975.
That's correct. Look at you go. All right, one.
Man.
Let's see if we can stump him. We're gonna get a little bit harder, just
All right.
slightly.
I'm ready.
Which composer was the first to win an EGOT?
Ooh.
For those of you at home, an EGOT is an Emmy, a Grammy, a Tony, and something that starts with an O.
Oscar.
That's it.
I would guess Marvin Hamlish.
That is a very good guess. I think he was the second, but the first.
The first, was it Richard Rodgers then?
It was Richard Rodgers.
Was.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to you because you said Richard Rodgers before our slide came up. So.
Yes. That's impressive. And
Yeah.
Marvin Hamlish, what a great guess.
I think he was literally the number 2.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
You know who else? And I just heard this. Oh gosh, I just heard this that he has an EGOT, and he's certainly a composer, but a pianist. He's really more of a pianist than, and that's John Legend has an EGOT.
John
He
Legend.
does?
Oh,
He does.
that's amazing.
Surprised the
Tony
heck
for?
out of me when I saw it today.
What's his Tony for?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Somebody in the chat look that up. I want to know what John
Yeah.
Legend's EGOTs are for.
I also really like John Legend.
Yeah.
Oh, I
who
do
doesn't?
too.
He's pretty classic.
He appeared on some Kanye albums before he was super
That's
famous.
right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Actually, Kanye signed him to his art collective.
Wow.
But that's neither here nor there. What is here or there is this question, which is: A Raisin in the Sun was the first play written by an African-American woman to be produced on Broadway. Who was this 29-year-old playwright?
Lorraine Hansberry.
Oh,
Woo!
without even a moment of delay.
I'm so impressed with you.
So quick.
Man, you have so many names in that head.
It's
of
hurting
yours.
it's making my shoulder hurt.
Wow, very good.
All right, let's see if we can get you with this one. Who was originally chosen to write the lyrics of the English version of Les Miserables before being replaced by Herbert Kretzmer?
Oh my goodness.
Oof.
Well, I know John Caird was involved with it. Was it John Caird?
It was not John Caird.
Okay. Let me see. Tim Rice.
It wasn't Tim Rice.
Wow. It's not coming. Sorry.
All
It wasn't
right.
Barry Manilow either.
The answer is James Fenton.
I see, and I'm not surprised I didn't get James because I have no idea who he is.
Hey, I didn't either, but I thought, you know who would know James Fenton? Steve Steiner.
No.
I had no idea.
That is the hardest question this is the hardest trivia that's ever been on this show.
We also have an answer from our audience who just looked it up. Richard Rodgers and Marvin Hamlish are the only two to get a PGOT. Oh,
What's a
a
PGOT?
PGOT. What's the P?
Primetime Emmy? No. I don't know what that would be.
Josh, you gotta let
Oh,
us know.
Pulitzer. I bet it's a Pulitzer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Gotta be a Pulitzer.
Wow, good
Yeah.
job.
Look at
Richard
that.
and Marvin.
Yeah, well, Richard Rodgers' Pulitzer was South Pacific.
Ugh.
Let's see. Marvin Hamlich's certainly wasn't They're Playing Our Song,
Yeah.
which is a great show and I love it. But you know, it's Neil.
Sedaka.
No, it's not
Young.
Neil. Playwright. What's wrong with me?
Oh, Neil Simon?
Yeah, Neil Simon. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, look, John Legend's Tony was as a producer on Best Revival of a Play in 2017.
Wow.
Would that have been The Color Purple?
No, that's not a play. That's a musical.
What is it? What is it,
Interesting.
Christina? Help us out.
Oh, Christina Fossmeyer. How are
Yeah,
you?
she's
Jitney.
here.
Oh yeah.
Jitney.
Hi, Christina. Nice to see you there.
I think Christina came in because you were going to be here. She's a first-time, I think a
first-time
first-time
listener.
but longtime friend now.
Oh yeah.
All right, Steve, you ready to do a couple more of these?
Yeah, well, sure. Why not?
He goes, "Blup, blup, blup."
Who is the record holder for the oldest person to win a Tony?
Ooh.
The easy answer is Mel Brooks. Now let's see if that is it Mel.
It is not.
It is not Mel. George Abbott.
No, I'll give you a hint. It was a fairly recent, and it's a woman.
Fairly recent. And
That's a hard
it's not coming. I'm sorry.
The answer is
Cicely
Cicely Tyson.
Oh, Cicely Tyson, of course.
Yep.
That's right. Yes,
Yep.
it was. Yeah.
She looks young.
Yeah.
To this day, she looks like she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
I think
No, I
she's
remember
28.
it's actually in this. The show that she did was in the same theater that the Heart of Rock and Roll is playing in right now.
No way.
That's
I believe so. Yeah.
How about that?
I believe so.
88 when she won her Tony.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
All right, it looks like we have one
I thought
final
Mel Brooks was older than that. Well, I guess the producers was 20 years ago. He couldn't have been older than that.
Yeah, and Bette Midler, I think, was the previous holder anyway. I think she was 70.
Bette Midler and I share a birthday.
Stevie Wonder and I share a birth date, same year.
Ooh,
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that's an honor.
Who do you share a
Can-
birthday with, Dan?
Can you tell the difference? Oh,
No.
yeah. He's the one that's a genius.
Well, so far, you're looking pretty good here.
Pretty good.
All right, we have one final question. Speaking of occupying theaters, whose ghost supposedly haunts Broadway's Palace Theater?
I would guess Ziegfeld.
It is not Ziegfeld.
Really?
Well, I mean, it could be. Who are we to say?
Yeah.
True. I haven't been to this theater. Have you, Dan?
I'm sure I have. I think I've
I
been to
have.
all- Yeah.
I've seen several shows there. It actually, Beauty and the Beast opened there.
How appropriate.
And then it moved to the Luntfontein later on. But I'm not getting that one either. I'm sorry.
The answer is Judy.
Judy Garland? Really? I did not know that.
And her hair piled high upon her head.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, I have to say, I'm blown away that you got as many of those as you did.
That was the
was a very
hardest
difficult
trivia by far we've ever had on this show, and you crushed it,
which
Steve.
I think it makes you the proud recipient and the worthy recipient of some congratulations.
We have a low budget here at the show.
Yeah, that's what we get. One gray balloon.
But what we do love is we love to ask our guests for any kind of positive advice that they can put out to the listeners at large. Whatever's on your heart tonight, if you'll just share that.
Wow. Find things that you enjoy. You know, I'm very lucky to be able to work in a field that I would absolutely do for free.
Yeah, I feel that
You
every
know.
day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel that so hard.
You
never
know,
work a day in your life when you love what you do.
that's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, Steve, thanks for taking time to be here on the show tonight, and thanks for coming into our lives at a time which was perfect, and bringing us into your community.
That's great, and you know, hopefully we'll see you before too awfully long. Erin's actually sending me something soon, I think.
That's true. She's gunning for another role at your theater.
Yeah, cool. And just, you know, thank you for doing this. And it's so nice to see. Well, first of all, you know, I had more conversations on text with my brother than I have with him for a couple of months. So.
That's why we do this, to put families back together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
Good to see you, Steve. Good talking to you.
We
Thank
love
you so
you.
much.
Good to see you. Take care.
Adios.
Mwah. And you know what a great sentiment, by the way, for National Take a Chance Day.
So true. Take a chance on the show.
Yes.
Come be a guest. You'll do great.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually would love to talk about that right now because are there things out there, you know, I think this may call for a segment, Dan.
Like a caterpillar?
Like a closing segment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Something that we like to call.
Wait, what were you I don't know what are you trying to
Dan.
I couldn't hold it.
Erin's Positivity Corner. And what's so great is unprompted, Steve really got us into what I wanted to talk about today. Exactly. And I've taken chances my whole life, and I can promise you right now that I have not regretted one single chance that I've taken. I have regretted chances not taken. And here on National Take a Chance Day, I would like to encourage all of you to take a chance. Who out there has something that they're maybe afraid to do? Maybe they don't want to get into it. Here's something small. My mom, who's probably watching right now, started to play pickleball, and she is getting really good at it. And it's something that is really new. She also just ran her first 5K. That's amazing. And that's something that she was nervous to do. And then we did it. And now she's like, when's the next one?
Yep.
What is something that you want to maybe take a chance on, Dan?
I don't know. I struggle with that question because I'm so impulsive that usually when I'm trying to go for something, I just end up doing it.
So true.
Now that means I have a lot of holes in my wall from where I missed the dartboard, but no one sees the holes, right? People just see the bullseyes or the 20s or the triple 20s, or once in a while there's a 17 or a 2.
Absolutely.
But the point is, if you take a chance on stuff, you're probably not going to regret it. Like Erinn said, Wayne Gretzky once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
And it's true. It sounds cheesy, but it's true.
Or that was Michael Scott.
If you guys are an actor out there, I know we have a lot of actors that watch the show. If you're considering not auditioning for something because maybe you think you're not good enough, submit anyway. First of all, you never know. Second of all, any experience to get in front of someone and show off your goods is a great experience.
That's something that we've recently started doing, is going back into more. I honestly, until this year, I don't think I've had an actual audition for something.
Same. I have just been like, our career has kind of just rolled into the next show. People ask us to do things, and then from that we get asked to do other things, and we produce our own things.
And it's been great. But I think this year we really tried to, we went out to audition for Flat Rock Playhouse out west in North Carolina, and hadn't actually been in an audition room for 6 years. And it's one of those things where, you just do it. Just go out and do it, and take some chances and make some messes, and you never know what's going to hit. And everything that you try and miss makes the next attempt easier. So
exactly. And it doesn't have to be performance either. It could be something very simple, like taking care of your air filter at home. I don't know. Whatever it is, take a chance. It's so important.
Bill, who are you proposing to? Is it Bill Withers?
Oh my gosh.
Who's your favorite singer?
Oh my gosh, you should.
Good luck.
I encourage all of you to be a little bit reckless. Now, don't be stupid and don't be unkind, but be a little bit reckless, because that's what National Take a Chance Day is all about.
And in summation, that's what life is all about.
So true.
You know what I mean? You can sit inside and water your begonias, but at the end of the day, wouldn't you rather go sow your wild oats?
Our plants are all dead, but we have a lot of oats that are being sown in the world.
There's a chance we took. We took a chance on trying to raise a living thing in our house, and we failed miserably. And it came at great cost to the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
But we did it. We tried.
That's so good. You guys, thank you for joining us tonight. And thanks so much to our wonderful guest, Steve. I hope you enjoyed him as much as we did. We love him, and now you get to know him too, which is the best.
If you're tuning in, we see a lot of you every week, and we thank you for being a part of this. We love our Tuesday nights because it feels like we get to spend time with people we love. If you're here for the first time, please come back. We do this every Tuesday at the exact same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can follow us here, and here on your preferred platform. And just keep on coming back.
Absolutely. We love y'all, and we hope that you have a fantastic week, and we hope that you'll take some chances this week and tell us about it next week.
We love you. I'm Dan.
I'm Erinn.
Or rather, she's Erinn.
Oh, and I'm Dan?
No,
you're Dan.
She's Erinn, and I'm Dan.
Bye.